but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda's swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so give me just a second. I forgot to send my email, my mass email out. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do that really quick. Okay, so we're back at it. We are back at it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the my sponsor ad started while I'm doing this, okay? Hey, Mr. Elevation, the lovely T, we the people. All right, let's get into it. Chris B. All right, Reggie is black in the building. Nicole is here. Cherokee Descendant Dale, Leon. All right, Nessa G. Okay, let's get ready to get into it. Shout out to all my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, Love Christy. And a big shout out to my moderators for putting in work. Okay. I see you, Orion Pierre. All right, let's get into it. Thank you for your kind words about my intro. Okay, Mally C. Wofi Israel is here. LL. All right. So with that all being said, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it because Trump has sent more troops over to the Middle East. Okay, we've had a lot going on today. The FBI was going around talking about, a possible terrorist attack in California, a drone attack specifically, which I found very interesting because I reported to you all this morning how they said 4 drones were stolen from Fort Campbell. Okay, please pay attention. All right, please pay attention. Okay, I find it all so nefarious. But hold on. Now, remember how I told you all that Trump was grifting off of this war? How he basically said he sent out these emails to people trying to get them to become members and to pay, okay, so that he could send them supposed national security information. Okay, private national security information. Does that even make sense? All right, that's absolutely foolish. Okay, but I'm sure some of the MAGA minions, cult members, sent him money. But hold on, because he has another grift. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention because this is what he posted today. And I find this all interesting. Let me share my screen. He's grifting off the war every way he can, okay? We know he wants to distract us from Epstein and all of that and kiss Bibi Netanyahu's butt. But look at this, what he said. I find it very disrespectful and interesting. He said, the United States is the largest oil producer in the world by far. So when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money. Now, by we, he means he and his cronies, not us. Okay, not us. Okay, and so anyway, but there's greater interest and importance to me as president, okay, is getting rid of an evil empire, Iran, from having nuclear weapons, okay, and destabilizing the Middle East and indeed the world. I won't ever let that happen. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Down somewhere. The world has already been destabilized, and it's been destabilized by him. Okay, now I find it interesting with the use of all the propaganda. Can we all just sit here and admit that Iran is they're not the biggest terrorist on the planet? Okay, I'm sorry. Isn't America in the runnings? Isn't America in the runnings? Yeah, they are, if you ask me. Okay, I think America are the terrorists. Okay? That's what I think. Now, we're going to talk a bit more about that, but before we do, let's talk about how they're sending more troops. Okay, because this is breaking news. They're sending more troops. You already know that I told you all how they wanted to be on the ground, boots on the ground in Iran. It's not going to work out good for our military at all. I can assure you of that. They say 2,500 Marines and U.S. warship to deploy to the Middle East. Now, this is a report from Sky News. Okay, I seem to think that the most credible sources about anything pertaining to the war is not the mainstream media, okay, specifically legacy media. No. All right, they're not reporting accurately as far as I'm concerned. Now, let's get into it.
Coming out of the US regarding the ongoing situation in the Middle East, we're hearing from our colleagues at NBC that approximately 5,000 additional Marines and sailors are deploying to the area to support the war in Iran. This is according to 3 US officials speaking to NBC. The service members make up an amphibious ready group and Marine expeditionary unit known as ARG and MEU. Now, we're told that an MEU is notable because they are trained for crisis response, evacuations from dangerous areas, protecting embassies, etc. Also trained to be the first ones in on the ground to set up areas for other forces. CENTCOM, we're told, requested the additional forces because, and I quote, part of the plan for this war was to have Marines available to provide options for use. That is according to a US official. So, breaking news coming out of the US, approximately 5,000.
Okay, so 5,000 more. Now they had on the caption 2,500, but 5,000. So with that all being said, I have some questions for the Trump regime. Okay. And let's go back to the briefing that I showed you all this morning. I want to go to a few clips from that with Pete Hegseth. Okay, I want to go back to a few clips from this morning when he was talking during the briefing. Because what I find interesting is now I don't think we saw this part this morning. I don't think we did see him talking about being laser focused, but there was something specifically when he was questioned about the Strait of Hormuz. And I want you all to hear that clip. Okay? I want you all to hear that clip because this man, he and Trump are just liars who lie. Wolfie Israel said, "Here we go with the ground troops." Right, and that's not going to turn out well. It's very much so mountainous terrain. It's very vast in land, and these soldiers likely don't even know the land or whatever. They're not familiar with it specifically, as it pertains to the Iranians. Okay, this is like really, this is a self-deletion mission. Okay, I'm sorry. That's what it reeks of to me. I think this is the worst idea that Trump could have come up with, okay, as it pertains to going toe to toe with Iran. That's just ignorant. Okay, now listen to this.
The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that. Now, there's a reason why we chose as one of our primary objectives destroy the Navy. We understood the ability to interdict shipping is something Iran has done for 40 years. That's not a strait we're going to allow to remain contested or with a lack of flow of commercial goods. So we're aware of that. We're laser focused on our military objectives, but also want to make sure our partners across this government understand we're working with you to make sure that energy flows.
And it's a tactically complex environment. And before I think we want to take anything through there at scale, we want to make sure that we do the work pursuant to our current military objectives to do that safely and smartly.
Okay, here's the thing. So basically he's saying that if the Strait of Hormuz wasn't closed, it would be open. Is that what he's saying? Because that's what it sounds like he's saying. That if the Strait of Hormuz wasn't closed, it would be open. Okay? Make it all make sense. Reporter says you have naval superiority over Iran. Why aren't you escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz? That's a good question. And here's a few questions that I have for myself to ask he and Trump. Well, if they knew they were going to attack Iran, then they should also have known or should have at least suspected, not known, they couldn't know 100%, but they should have thought about the possibility of Iran guarding the Strait of Hormuz and closing it so that no one could get any oil. Now, he wants us to think that they did think of that thought did cross their minds, but I'm telling you it didn't. And you know why it didn't? I'm so glad you asked. For the same reason that I told you yesterday. They didn't think that Iran would do that because they thought it would be detrimental to them, the Iranians. So they didn't think, oh, they're going to close the strait. That never occurred to them. You know how you know that never occurred to them? I'm so glad you asked. You see, here's how you know it never came to their minds. Because had they thought of it, they would have taken the proper measures and precautions to make sure that the Iranians couldn't do that. You see, they could have taken over the strait themselves, people. They are so big and bad, aren't they? They have all the military might. But you know why they didn't think of that? Because they had no plan. They had no strategy, like I told you guys. The only thing these idiots had was the fact that Trump sent his people in, snatched up President Maduro and his wife, successfully and incarcerated them and took over their oil and started selling it with the money going into a private account for Trump, allegedly. That's what they thought. So that all being said, they likely thought, we're going to go over here and do the same thing real We're going to go over and take out the supreme leader and force them into submission. They don't want to do battle with us. And then we'll just decide who's their next leader. Because that's what Trump had time to do. He said they would be done with this war in 4 to 5 days. The excursion, as he called it, a little excursion, like they just went on a camping trip. Is that what he thought? Thought it was going to be a piece of cake, huh? Well, not so fast, said the Iranians. Okay, not so fast. I find it all interesting. Here's the thing. Not only could they have taken it over, they could have also gotten those, what do you call those things? Minesweepers. They could have gotten minesweepers where they could have checked the area, patrolled and checked to see if there were any mines. Because guess what? Now there are mines. Now remember, when they questioned Hegseth about the mines, he said, oh, well, he tried to dismiss it. Oh, we heard them talking about it. How did you hear the Iranians talking about their military plans and strategies? How did you hear that? And if you heard that, then what else did you hear? And why is the U.S. losing? Why does Tel Aviv look like Gaza? Why are Israel and Dubai threatening to have people arrested for showing footage of the destruction? Why have journalists over there in Israel been arrested for saying too much? Okay, doesn't sound like the winning team to me. I just have so many questions, but let me continue. Let me continue, honey. I'm sorry. Maybe they should have had me in charge because it seems like I have a whole lot more sense than Trump or Hegseth. Don't you think? I mean, at least I would have had all bases covered. Okay, tried to. All right, thought of things that might happen. They didn't think about asymmetric warfare. The U.S. didn't think of that. They didn't even consider it. You know how you know they didn't even think about it or consider it? Because that's exactly what Iran is using on them, and that's why they're winning this war. If they had thought about it, they would have known that the painted decoys of aircraft and helicopters on the ground, okay, they would have known that those were not real fighter jets. They would have known those were not real helicopters. They would have known there were decoys painted on the ground. And this is asymmetric warfare. But they didn't know that because they're a bunch of bumbling idiots. And none of them are competent. And also, it's really sad that, like I told you all, Trump fired all of those very important and very experienced generals and lieutenants, top ranking military officials. He fired them just because Biden and Obama put some of them in. Isn't that sad? And look at him now. Isn't that pathetic? I want to tell you all something. If you ask me, Trump and Satan Yahoo are the two most dangerous men on the planet right now. The two most dangerous devils on the planet, bar none. Okay? Mally says, these people have been walking all over brown people for so long, they never thought Iran would have the basketballs to counter their golf balls. Exactly. They underestimated them. And that's the last thing you do in war. I told you all that yesterday. In war, you never underestimate your opponent. Okay? How are these people in charge? This is sickening. All right, so Mally C, thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. And also, hold on. I just find it all so interesting. At the end of the day, this is really just beyond pathetic. Okay? And they're still not being honest about all these casualties, in my opinion. Another thing, too, let me just say, I heard someone reporting, a few people have reported that the strike on the school that killed 180 people, mostly children, unfortunately. Some people have reported that that was not intentional. It was intentional. They did it on purpose to send a message. Like I told you all yesterday, you see, those children, some of those were the children of the Iranian soldiers. That's why the school was right next to the base. Okay, which was also hit with a Tomahawk missile, by the way. So they absolutely did it on purpose. They tried to send a message. That's already come out in the wash. That's already been reported. So they can miss us with it, with Trump sitting here trying to act as though Iran did that to their own children. They're not that stupid. Okay, and Tomahawks are very precise. So we know they did it on purpose. That was their target.
The U.S. military has essentially aerial superiority, naval superiority over Iran, yet we're not escorting ships to the Strait of Hormuz. Why? How did you not plan for this?
We planned for it. We recognize it. Because ultimately we want to do it sequentially in a way that makes the most sense for what we want to achieve and ensure that we're sending the right signals to the world when we do so. So when Chris Wright speaks or we speak, it's based on a full assessment of what we're up against, what we want to say to the world, how that we want them to see and understand the conflict. It's like this whole idea of the war widening. That's what the press wants to make it look like it's widening and chaos. And so, no, we're actually closing in on grabbing hold of and controlling what objectives we want to achieve and how we want to achieve. It's called shaping operations and setting the conditions. But when you shape the environment, you don't always tell. Foolish political leaders and foolish military leaders of the past will hang an exact deadline on it. Or here's exactly when we'll do what we're going to do. Or here's how long it's going to take us. And then if you meet that, maybe you meet it. But if you don't, you fail. And if you're far beyond, we know exactly what we're shaping and why. We're sending those signals working across the interagency. The Strait of Hormuz is something we paid attention to from the beginning. And the American people can rest assured we will ensure that our interests are advanced, no doubt.
I know it's funny, right? She can't stop laughing. Okay? It's pathetic. Okay? It is absolutely hilarious.
What was that answer? Because that was literal word vomit. All I heard was signal, 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 signal. Growing signal, signal. That was the longest, most waffling answer. Listen. The more I learn about Peter Hegseth, the more I'm like, America is a stimulation. It's a fake creation. It's a reality show like the Truman Show. It's not real.
Okay, no lies detected. I told y'all that long ago that this is the Truman Show. Okay, we're all participating in it like idiots. And we're not even getting paid is what makes it so bad. Okay, and we're not even getting paid. Mally C said Queen Hegseth's internet nickname is Keg Breath. They do say that he has a drinking problem. They do say it. Okay, that's what they say, beloveds. Now let's continue because y'all are so low down. Okay, let's continue because I want to go to this clip where he's talking about how they just destroyed Iran. Now let's listen to this because I'm sorry, but RG Titan, I'm sorry, hold on, who is that? Yeah, RG Titan called him Whiskey Pete. Okay? That's right, Wolfie Israel. I said that yesterday, beloved. I said that same thing yesterday. Operation Epic Failure. That's exactly what it is. Now listen to this. This man right here.
Iran has no air defenses. Iran has no air force. Iran has no navy. Their missiles, their missile launchers and drones being destroyed or shot out of the sky. Their missile volume is down 90%. Their one-way attack drones yesterday, down 95%.
Now, all of that, yet they're still fighting? Do y'all hear this? Y'all heard what he said, right? They've no aircrafts. Their navy is completely gone. Drones are down 90%, missiles 95%. Isn't that what he said? Well, why are they still waging war? Why isn't the U.S. declaring victory? Oh, that's right. Trump did declare victory yesterday, okay, when he was in Kentucky. And then right after he declared victory and said it was all about done, then that's when the supreme leader, the new supreme leader, issued that statement. Remember that? Ordering his demands. Okay, remember that? And they also said days ago that they'll decide when this war is over. That's what Iran said. How do they like those apples? Let's continue.
And as the world is seeing, they are exercising sheer desperation in the Straits of Hormuz. Something we're dealing with. We have been dealing with it and don't need to worry about it. We're on plan to defeat, destroy, disable all of their meaningful military capabilities at a pace the world has never seen before. Iran has no air defenses. Iran has no air
at a pace the world has never seen before. Well, could y'all please speed it the hell up? Because it's been going on. We're 2 weeks in at this point. Okay? And gas prices are sky high. Y'all right? Please sit down somewhere, sir. Okay? T-Some said, sounds like he has no clue. He's in over his head. Sit down somewhere, sir. Me and you literally said the same thing at the same time, okay? That's exactly what he needs to do. Sit down somewhere, okay? Preferably in an empty stadium, you idiot. Oh my goodness, I absolutely cannot with the lies, all right? This man just said that it cost him 90 bucks. 90 bucks to fill up his vehicle. And here's the thing. But Pete Hegseth says nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about? Hold on. Let me see if I can think of a few things that we all should be very worried about. Let's get into it. So with the Strait of Hormuz closed, someone correct me, stop me when I'm lying or when I'm wrong. So with the Strait of Hormuz closed right now, which supplies about 20% of the global oil on a daily basis and a significant amount of LNG, which is liquefied natural gases, on a daily. And it's shut down for days now. You know, even a little disruption of the Strait of Hormuz can cause prices to escalate. Being shut completely down can send us into a global economic collapse. That's what it can do. We can have a whole energy war. That's what can happen. This could shut down hospitals, okay, schools, everything. Grocery stores will have nothing on the shelves because you see, this is all about energy and we need it to have things transported. We need it for production. We could literally be thrown into famine. Okay, so what is he talking about? Nothing to worry about. Look at just blowing it off. And that idiot at the wheel by the name of Trump is sitting there trying to tell us that when oil prices go up, well, you know, that's good. We make money. Yeah, he's making money because he's selling Venezuela's oil and allegedly pocketing the money, okay? Putting it in his own bank accounts, or so I've heard. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. This is absolutely nefarious. Absolutely nefarious, okay? This is all crazy. Whew. Somebody stop this planet. I think I want to get off.
Thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that.
Well, no shit. And I just spent 90 bucks to fill my truck up. I didn't have to. I could have fucking walked. They can go through that fucking strait and they can fucking get shot. That's the only fucking problem with you saying it's open. They've got the fucking freedom to go through that bitch and get shot at. So I guess it's fucking open. What are y'all doing with those 2,500 Marines that you're sending over there anyway? Because from what I heard, there was going to be no boots on the ground. Are y'all fixing to open that strait up? And why haven't y'all blown that island up? You know that one that's got all those oil storage tanks on it? That's right next to the fucking strait? Where all those people are hiding out and watching? No shit! The Strait of Hormuz is open for anybody that wants to drive through it and get shot.
Okay? He's not telling any lies. Here's the thing. Now, I want you to pay attention to Hegseth, how he says basically that we're doing everything on our time. We have a plan in all of this. First of all, sir, if I'm not mistaken, let me just fact check myself. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't I report to you all that Iran has gotten rid of about 13 ships, has stopped about 13 ships trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. I believe it's about 13 vessels. Okay. Let me just double check real quick. So that all being said, it doesn't say. It's just a bunch of articles came up. Hold on, let me ask Chat GPT. Well, never mind. It's been at least 13. I know that. Okay, it's probably more by now because I reported that on yesterday. Okay, and so I just find it all interesting. But he wants us to think there's nothing to see here, folks. I mean, it's absolutely nefarious. Trump warns Iran against laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Well, doesn't look like they listened to the warning. Okay, it doesn't look like they listened to the warning because, they still have them out there. Okay, but let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, let's talk about the kids that died in that school. Let's get back on that. Because we have the guy from, is he from Fox News? Hold on. I'm going to go to this report. I believe his name is Scott Jennings. Hold on. I'm going to go to this report where he was basically laughing about it. Like it was, basically saying, it was no big deal. Yeah, he was acting like it was no big deal. Like this is just something, that had to happen or whatever. I find it all interesting. Okay, let's go to this report right here. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, this is Middle East Eye.
Most of you don't condemn, even support Trump's and Netanyahu's war on Iran, yet claim to stand with the Iranian people. Now, I dare you to say that to the eyes of that 7-year-old girl, her backpack still beside her desk, that was killed when a US Tomahawk missile hit her elementary school. Dare to admit to the 167 other victims in that school that you are offering European bases to US killing machines. Tell the families of Tehran, a city of 10 million people, that you support the chemical warfare of Israel as they poison the air with toxic fires and black rain that will cause cancers for.
Let me stop right there. Now, I reported that to you all the other day about the black rain that Bibi's people are putting down in Lebanon. And let me say this. Now, I find it interesting because if you recall, Trump's the one who came out with his lying self when he said that there's only one group of people in this war that targets civilians. Okay, I'm sorry. No, there's two. Okay, there's two. And that would be Bibi's people in the United States. They targeted those children in that school and they know they did it. And that's not the first time they've done such a thing, I'm sure. But also, Bibi's people were over there targeting the people in Lebanon. Okay, that's why the U.S. stopped giving them cluster munitions years ago. And they're likely doing the same thing right now because, they're definitely doing the same thing right now because at the end of the day, there's over 800 reports of 800 people dead and over 100 of them children. Okay? And then spewing this black rain that's going to cause cancer. Let's continue.
Decades. Tell the Iranian people how much you really love them, while from Golestan to Chehel Sotun, Western bombs damage century-old cultural heritage. Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Iraq, your bombs never brought democracy and never will. They bring chaos, death, destruction, and the unbearable silence of children who will never come home.
Low down and dirty. Okay, low down and dirty. Now, with that all being said, here's the thing. It was Jennings, okay, Scott Jennings on CNN. Yeah, he was just being very dismissive. I literally can't stand this man. Okay, he's very arrogant and very smug in his demeanor at all times. Okay, such a racist demon, if you ask me. But let's go to the footage. Killing those poor children and then acting like Iran did it, Trump, with your stupid self.
No. So that's going to be a key question.
And that's part of the problem. This whole mission has been a disaster.
And I think it's an
For who?
unmitigated. It's
Iran?
It's an
I agree with you.
unmitigated
That's what you
disaster.
think.
It's an unmitigated disaster for the world, for the United States of America. Maybe it's funny to you, but
It's funny to me that you're hoping that we lose this war to Iran.
I never said that.
Who's it a disaster for?
It's a disaster for the 170 school children who were killed by our U.S. Tomahawk missile. It's a disaster. It's a disaster for the. It's a disaster for the 7 U.S. soldiers. The 7 U.S. soldiers who were killed.
You're
in
wish
this mission.
casting an American disaster is amazing.
No.
It's incredible.
Scott. This mission has been a disaster. The motives have continued to change from one day to the next.
They have not.
The announcement today from the White House was almost identical to the announcement on March 2nd.
Can I just finish? I let everyone else speak. I haven't.
Now, see how they're interrupting that black man because he's speaking intellectually and telling the truth and the facts? Okay, they have changed the motive on several occasions. I told you all that days ago. Okay, first they said it was to liberate the people of Iran. Trump ordered them to go out there and protest, take to the streets, said they're going to come in and then they can take over their own government. After all this time, that's what Trump said. Then he comes back and says that they were attacking Bibi's people. Okay, they come back and say that, and then they come back and say they have nuclear capabilities. That story has continuously changed, okay? And then he came back just the other day when he threw his own son-in-law, Jared Kushner, okay, the Antichrist, in my opinion, said that Jared and Steve Witkoff basically told him that that Iran was planning to attack them within a week. Now, are they oracles or prophets? How do they know this? Okay, please sit down somewhere with the lies. At the end of the day, honey, only an idiot is believing anything that this administration says at this point.
Okay. President Trump said he wanted unconditional surrender. He said he wanted regime change. We're not going to get unconditional surrender. We're not going to get regime change. We have another Ayatollah Khomeini now in charge. The same person, the same person with a different person with the same name, essentially running the country right now. And maybe or maybe not, but we don't know what's going on because our government hasn't been truthful in telling us what we need to know about what's happening. And this is part of the problem.
What have they not been truthful
Well,
about?
this is part of the problem with the administration because they've been dishonest about what their objectives were from the beginning. They've been dishonest about what they've accomplished from the beginning.
What's the evidence of dishonesty?
And they were dishonest about the Tomahawk missile.
What is the evidence of dishonesty?
The evidence of dishonesty.
He has nothing to say, okay? He has nothing to say. I can't stand Jennings. He's always running his mouth. Okay, and never saying anything. At least anything important. Okay, so anyway, let's go to this video. I find it all so interesting.
The roiling waters of the Persian Gulf further inflamed after Iranian missiles this morning struck 3 cargo ships. This one manned by the Thai Navy, engulfed by fire. Near one of the world's most critical oil passageways, the Strait of Hormuz, which snakes between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. Maritime groups say in all, Iran has struck at least a dozen vessels there, effectively bringing traffic to a halt and global energy fears to an all-time high. Today, Iran pledged it won't hold back.
We will never allow even a single liter of oil to pass through the Strait of Hormuz for the benefit of the United States, the Zionists, or their partners. Any vessel whose ship or oil cargo belongs to them will be considered a legitimate target.
The situation has caused energy prices around the world to skyrocket. To offset the surge, an unprecedented response from the International Energy Agency, which announced it would release 400 million barrels of oil from its emergency stocks. That's roughly 20 days' worth of the Strait's exports, making it the largest distribution of reserves in history. IEA Director Fatih Birol.
This is a major action aiming to alleviate the immediate impacts of the disruption in markets. But, to be clear, the most important thing for a return to stable flows of oil and gas is the resumption of transit through the Strait of Hormuz.
It all comes amid fears that Iran is preparing to mine the Strait of Hormuz in an effort to shut down shipping altogether. Leaving the White House today, the president said U.S. oil companies should proceed with using the strait and reiterated to reporters what he told Axios, that there's, quote, practically nothing left to target in Iran.
Then why the hell are they still over there if there's practically nothing left to target in Iran? Why are they still over there, and why are they sending even more troops, Trump? Make it all make sense. The lies just do not even make any sense or add up at this point. And they really never do when they're coming from Trump. Okay, so everything's done. Their aircraft defenses are down. Their Navy's done. Okay, they're out of missiles and drones almost, 90 and 95%. So what's the deal? Why are we sending more troops?
Lost their Navy. They've lost their Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all. They have no radar. Their leaders are gone. And we could do a lot worse.
Still, joint US-Israeli attacks continue across Iran. This explosion sending shockwaves through the northwestern city of Tabriz. And in the capital, bombs gutted neighborhood shops like this one. A new Israeli intelligence assessment revealed that Iran's newly installed supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, was lightly wounded at the start of the war. Israel's defense minister today vowed to carry on for as long as it takes.
We will continue to act and crush this regime and its strategic objectives in Tehran and throughout Iran, day after day.
Israel's campaign against Iran includes strikes on Hezbollah, the Iran-backed proxy group in Lebanon. There, attacks ramped up beyond Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut's southern suburbs today, and continued to hammer southern Lebanon. So far, well over 500 have been killed and some 700,000 displaced.
I want to go back to my hometown. I'm afraid. I'm scared for myself. There are strikes here and there are strikes there. I'm confused about where to go.
And Iran's counterattacks have escalated to what its Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps called today the most intense yet. Missile remnants lay scattered in central Israel after Iran said it's increasing its use of cluster munitions against them. Eyewitness video captured the moment an oil depot in Oman blew up after it was struck by an Iranian drone. Oman had been the chief mediator between the US and Iran before the US and Israel launched the war. And
let me just tell you all something. You know, no matter what, like I told you guys, even if the United States and Bibi's people take out more of the Iranians, the bottom line is the U.S. still loses, okay? Because we're going to be in a whole economic crisis here. The U.S. has spent billions of dollars already in the first few days of this war. How long is this going to drag on? How long will they continue? But they're winning. There's nothing left. Okay, this makes no sense. And here's the thing. They're spending or they're using $3 million missiles, okay, to stop $50,000 drones. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention. They're spending, $3 million to stop $50,000 drones. Okay, and so that's what I'm telling you all. I already told you that Iran is really using these asymmetric warfare tactics because they put the decoys on the ground to fool them. They've put mines at the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, they are doing everything very strategically. The U.S. had no plan, and if they did, it was a terrible one. Okay, because look where they are. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's exactly what's happening right here in real time. Okay? That's right. Shoshana said the math ain't mathing. It really isn't. Okay, this is all just a hot mess. And here's the thing. Not only are they, guarding the Strait of Hormuz, they shut it down and they're guarding that. But also look at how I told you all days ago, how they're using older, cheaper missiles and drones. Okay? The good stuff, they haven't even brought that out yet. It's all underground. And they're still able to even cave in these bomb shelters that they had over there in the blue and white state of Bibi's people. Remember the report from the other day about the bunker caving in? Can you imagine? Okay. So anyway, let's continue because it's all looking bad. That's all I'm saying.
2 drones fell near Dubai International Airport, one of the world's busiest, continuing Iran's strategy of destabilizing its Gulf neighbors and energy markets. Here in Qatar, Iranian attacks ramped up too, with multiple incoming missile and drone launches intercepted throughout the day. A foreign ministry spokesperson for the country, which was previously a key neutral negotiator between Iran, the United States, and Israel, said Qatar reserved the right to defend itself if necessary and had no plans to reconsider its strategic alliance with the United States over Iranian attacks on US bases in the region, but affirmed its belief that the only way this conflict will come to an end is via diplomatic means and urged all parties to come to the negotiating table to avoid any further escalation. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Layla Milana Allen in
All bad. Okay, it's all gone wrong. Okay? C-STAN said they lied about the death tolls. Absolutely, beloved. Of course they are. Of course they're lying. They've been lying for days, and they'll continue to do so until they can't anymore. Okay, because remember, I told you all it's been 8 days ago now. But on the 6th day, I told you all then it was reported on international news sources that there was over 650 deaths and injuries. And at that time, they were saying that there was like 6 or 7. That's what the U.S. was saying. And then they came out saying that it was 140 or 150. That's still not accurate. Okay, that's still not accurate. I don't believe them. So in almost 2 weeks, yeah, it's been 2 weeks. This is the 14th day, right? So in 2 weeks of war, that's all that you're going to say is dead after we know that Iran targeted all of the military bases over there. They targeted the military bases, and that's all you have. Okay? I mean, it's just the lies. That's right. Reggie said, I know they didn't hit empty bases. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. They just don't want, people to know the magnitude of the loss so early in the game, because then that lets us know that they're losing, which we already sadly for them know anyway, because they're not the only ones able to report on this. They can't control the narrative. And you see, things like this is the reason why they want to be able to control TikTok. Okay, that's why Robert Ellison, okay, isn't that his name, or Ron Ellison? That's why he's gotten stock in TikTok. He's one of BB's people. Okay, at the end of the day, they want to control the narrative. That's what they want to do. They want to censor people and tell everyone what we can and can't say. Okay, that's what they want to do. So anyway, with that all been said, let's continue, because let's go to this report. Hold on. Is this the one I want to go to? Hold on, beloveds. No, let's go to this where they're talking about Governor Gavin Newsom. Because the FBI was talking about a drone strike that was unverified, a possible drone attack, rather. But Governor Gavin Newsom said there's no imminent threat to California of a possible Iran drone strike. And then they say the White House rejects reports. Here's the thing. Newsom probably knows what we all know. That if anything does happen, it won't be from Iran. It'll likely be by our own folk, likely a false flag. Now, that's just my opinion, okay? And that's a lot of people's opinions. But anywho, let's go to the clip. I find this all interesting. Just Anticipate said, who is that tramp is kissing in the thumbnail? That's his buddy, Benjamin Netanyahu. That's who that is, beloved. That's who he's kissing. Okay.
A bulletin posted by the FBI is warning police departments in California that Iran could retaliate for American attacks by launching drones at the West Coast. Our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, has the latest for us. Aaron, what do we know?
Kira, ABC News reviewed an alert that the FBI sent to California police about an aspiration that Iran had to retaliate against the United States by deploying attack drones to unspecified targets in California. Today, the FBI posted a full version of the alert, which says the intelligence that underpinned that FBI warning was unverified. Now, President Trump was asked about the alert and told reporters it's under investigation.
It's being investigated, but you have a lot of things happening, and all we can do is take them as they come. And the war itself is being prosecuted as well as anybody has ever seen. And this is other countries telling me too. Big countries, powerful countries, they said they've never seen anything like it. And they also agree with what I'm doing.
Now, the alert that was sent to California police contained no information about timing or targets for these aspirational plans. California Governor Gavin Newsom confirmed his office received the FBI alert and passed on the unverified information to state and local partners. Kira, law enforcement officials say there is no imminent threat here, and administration officials say the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran have severely degraded its retaliatory capabilities. Kira.
So they said that the strikes on them have degraded their retaliatory capabilities. Oh, okay. Okay, please. Roddy said, why do we underestimate Iran knowing their history, the arrogance of it all? Exactly. Exactly. It's all crazy. And C-Stan, thank you for your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. I don't know if I remember to say that, but thank you so much and for your insight into the topic. Now, with that all being said, the guy that I was talking about that bought into that invested in TikTok, no, that's Larry Ellison. Okay, Larry Ellison, not Robert or Rob. But yeah, so anyway, one of BB's people nonetheless, okay, trying to control the narrative. I'm sorry. What did Kanye say about the media? Okay, what did Kanye say about the media? Anybody remember? Okay, please pay attention. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this where they subpoenaed the Federal Reserve. And then the judge quashed it. So another L for Trump. The judge basically said that it seems to be politically motivated. Okay, so let's get into it. Judge quashes subpoenas sent to Federal Reserve as part of a DOJ probe. The only thing the DOJ needs to be probing in right now, as far as I'm concerned, is child trafficking. Okay, that's what they need to be doing. Child trafficking. How about they probe into that? All right. Now, let me just tell you all this too. I have some research that I have been actively working on, and I'm going to be presenting that to you all tomorrow. And I'm going to choose my words very carefully, but I want you all to pay attention because it's a whole lot of nefariousness going on. Okay, and it's time for everybody to just wake the hell up. Please pay attention.
And now let's go back to our top story. A federal judge has quashed a pair of grand jury subpoenas sent to the Federal Reserve Board. They were part of a criminal probe by U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro's office. And in his ruling, Judge James Boasberg said the subpoenas were a pretext to pressure Fed Chairman Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. Pirro responded to the judge's decision in a combative news conference. CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarland joins us live right now. Good to see you, Scott. Can you walk us through the judge's decision and what it ultimately means?
Oh, pretty blistering decision from Judge Boasberg, saying in so many words that these subpoenas shouldn't even move forward, much less a grand jury convene to consider evidence, much less a criminal case be filed here. The judge is also saying that this appears to be politically motivated by the White House, that there was not sufficient, if any, evidence of a crime, and that it appears to be an attempt to try to leverage the criminal justice system to get the Federal Reserve Board chair, Jerome Powell, who you see, to lower interest rates, as Trump has been calling for, or to simply resign.
I think they should go right on ahead and let Trump keep effing around with the Federal Reserve so he can eff around and find out. Okay? Let him go ahead. Don't stop him. Don't stop him. Let him do what he wants to do. Okay, we'll see how that all turns out.
And as part of his argument, in his opinion, the judge presented and iterated Trump's own Truth Social posts in which he claimed Jerome Powell was too late or too slow on lowering interest rates. It's a pretty damning opinion from the judge here, though the U.S. attorney in this case, Jeanine Pirro of the District of Columbia, says she plans to challenge it, appeal, and try to proceed with some type of criminal investigation of Jerome Powell.
Okay. And Scott, I have to say, this is your last day here at CBS News. So any final thoughts before your last hit for 24/7?
Well, I think that being part of CBS News 24/7 has been uniquely special. It is apolitical, it is fact-based, it is enterprising, it is contextual. It's everything journalism needs to be moving forward. It was a blessing always sharing airtime with you.
Of course, Scott. And I know I sent you an email. It is always amazing having you here because you give us context for every single story that you're on. We are going to miss you and we wish you the best in whatever comes next. Thank you so much.
You know what? He also thanked the behind the scenes team. But let me tell you all something. I find that interesting. So he's leaving CBS, and I didn't know that, but I find it very interesting because Anderson Cooper is leaving too. Did you all hear about that? Anderson Cooper has 2 children that he's adopted, and so he said that he wants to spend more time with them. But I find it all interesting. He's leaving 60 Minutes, okay, which is on CBS. Said he wants to focus and spend more time with his children, okay? Leaving CBS in 60 Minutes after nearly 20 years to focus on his CNN role and spend more time with his young children. Now, I'm going to tell you why I find this suspicious. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I find this suspicious because, remember that specifically as it pertains to Anderson Cooper. Because remember when they had that 60-minute story and the new person in charge, Barry Weiss, okay, remember when she had that taken down or she put a stop to it? Do you all remember that? Do you all remember that? I find it very interesting. I wonder if that has anything to do with his departure. Okay, I have several questions. But anyway, let's continue because they say that Jeanine Pirro went scorched earth on a reporter for daring to question the grand jury's dismissal. Okay, about that, about them having the Fed chair. Okay, not the Fed chair, about them having Jerome Powell. Yeah, about them having him subpoenaed. Okay, the record subpoenaed. So they say she got all mad and went off. Okay, just went in. Let's get into it. Looks like all of Trump and his people are taking L's, no matter which way you turn.
This process has been arbitrarily undermined by an activist judge. We have a process. We have been asking for information about a matter that has raised questions in many people's minds. Senate banking, the public, the papers, it doesn't matter. So give me the information so I can assess it. Give me the information so the grand jury, comprised of regular Americans, should say, there's nothing here. And I'll accept it the way I accept other cases. Okay, whatever it is, we'll abide by it. What we don't accept is a judge standing in front of the door of a grand jury, blocking our access, a role that has never been envisioned, a role that will now be used by other defense attorneys around the country, who's going to come in with a client and say, oh, my client is being targeted. Don't you dare go in the grand jury. A judge says, yes, the guy's bathed and washed in immunity, and you can't go after him. The process should have been allowed to run its course, and it wasn't. And shame on them.
Why are grand juries so skeptical of the cases that your office has been bringing?
Oh, cut it out. Do you know how many convictions we've got? Cut it out. You're in one lane. We have cleaned up this city. Yeah, historic, really? I'll tell you what's historic. What's historic is that I prosecute everything other than 10% of the cases, where the United States attorney before me didn't prosecute 67% of the cases. That's what's historic. I'm willing to take a not guilty. I'm willing to take a no true bill, because I'll take all the crimes and put them in. Thank you.
Why'd you get so mad about it? Okay, why'd she get so mad about it? Did y'all hear it? She went in, did she not? With that tight face. Reggie, you are wrong for that. Talking about Janina's had some more work done. Her face is tight. Because I was sitting here laughing because I was thinking the exact same thing before you posted it in the chat. Okay, it's amazing how me and some of my followers, subscribers, are on the same wavelength. I want y'all to pay attention. Okay, because her face was extra tight, honey. Please pay attention. Ooh, she better not laugh too hard or smile. It just might crack. Okay, but let's go to this report because they say that y'all's president by the name of Donald J. Trump told G7 leaders that Iran was about to surrender. And then The supreme leader put out a statement. I find it all nefarious, don't you?
About what President Trump is saying about this war, because there was a report from Axios that he told G7 leaders in a virtual meeting this week that Iran was about to surrender. Joining us now is CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi. Olivia, what are the White House and President Trump saying about the status of this war?
Well, Mugo, it's good to see you on this Friday. Yes, we did get this Axios report this morning that the president allegedly on a phone call, virtual meeting with the G7 on Wednesday, told those world leaders that Iran was about to surrender. Now, this was before we had heard from the new supreme leader of Iran, who gave an address yesterday, or at least a written address that was then read aloud on Iranian state TV. But the president also, in that meeting with the G7, allegedly called the leader a lightweight and saying that no one knows who the leader is of Iran. So there's no one that can announce this surrender, but added that the U.S. is winning this war. However, as we just have laid out by Ellie Watson and Matt Gutman, the regime has shown really no signs of imminent collapse or perhaps a surrender coming anytime soon. Despite all of that, though, the president is still expressing positivity about the trajectory of the war on True Social. He wrote, "We are totally destroying the terrorist regime of Iran, militarily, economically, and otherwise. Yet if you're reading," and he calls out the New York Times, "you would incorrectly think that we are not winning." He said Iran's Navy is gone, their Air Force is no longer, missiles, drones, and everything else are being decimated. He also goes on to say, and this was quite notable, "Watch what happens to these deranged scumbags today. They have been killing innocent people all over the world for 47 years, and now I, as the 47th president of the United States of America, am killing them." The today part of that was quite notable because we also heard from Secretary Hegseth this morning at the Pentagon that there will be more strikes on Iran today and an intensity of those strikes, which is what they said at the last Pentagon press briefing. So despite the president saying that there's surrender coming soon and that the U.S. is already ready to wrap up this war and that it appears, the war is positively coming to an end, the president is saying, watch what will happen today, saying that today is going to be a pretty significant.
Trump, we will watch what happens today. Okay, we will be waiting and watching. Listen, this is all ridiculous at this point. Okay, there's no need to further go on, as far as I'm concerned, to expose the lies, because they'll just continue to be spewed and spouted. And also, I find it so nefarious because if the U.S. is winning, as they claim, and all of these things have been decimated, why in the hell are they sending more troops? Okay, please, can somebody answer that? I have several questions. Nobody knows the answer. Now let's talk about the synagogue, the person that committed that act of terror on the synagogue. Let's talk about it because this report came out an hour ago and they say synagogue attack suspect's family was killed in a strike by Bibi's people. Let's get into it. I guess they're trying to make it all make sense. Quite frankly, I'm not too sure if this is even valid. Okay, I just, false flags are just known to happen. False flags are just known to happen. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I don't believe them until I get some hardcore proof. Okay, conveniently. And let me just tell you all something that I want you to take very seriously, because if you remember, in that letter that I read to you all this morning from the or was it yesterday? Yeah, the letter that I read to you all yesterday from the Indian journalist or the Indian author, Adhati Roy. She was talking about Trump possibly trying to destroy an ancient civilization with a nuke. Okay, and that's something that I've been worried about because Trump knows they're losing pitifully. And he keeps saying stuff that makes me think he's trying to go in that direction. When he says, watch what happens to him today. And then he said the other day, he's like, oh, we're going to come down on them if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to come down on them 20 times harder. What's 20 times harder? I thought y'all were giving it all you had. What could be worse? I thought you were already giving it your everything, 100%. So what's he talking about? And here's the thing. This is what I concern myself with. The fact that I'm wondering, Reggie said that plane is already in the area flying around. Yes, I heard that days ago too. But here's what I think. What I concern myself with. I'm just wondering if there's going to be a very serious false flag here, and the hopes that would anger the citizens, i.e. us, the people, in the hopes that would anger us to the point that we would be glad or we would condone him nuking Iran. I'm just trying to put myself in the mind state of a psychopath by the name of Donald J. Trump and Bibi Satan Yahoo. Okay? I'm just wondering, because they're letting him do whatever the hell he wants. Nobody's stopping him yet. He doesn't have to get congressional approval or authority. He does whatever the hell he wants. That's what he's been doing the whole time. And now we know, thanks to the Epstein files, I'm quite sure we all know why Congress has been letting him just take the wheel and not trying to rein him in. Because some of their asses are in the Epstein files too. Okay? It's true. Some of them are in there too. Some of them have been engaging in the nefariousness. And it's all being covered up. Tomorrow, I'm about to burst this thing wide open. Okay, I have some very interesting details that I've been researching, and we're going to get into it. Okay, I want you all to pay attention and stay tuned. All right, because it's not over. It's only just getting started, according to Iran. Okay, and also let me say this. Reggie said, but my sister, did I wonder what she's thinking right now? But my sister did. I wonder what she's thinking right now. Denise said that's why he did this work. Yes, to get rid of to get us off the Epstein files. Absolutely. Okay. J Love the Queen said that's what I was thinking as well, Queen. Okay. It's all nefarious. Nice M10K said, well, we didn't nuke after 9/11, so I don't know. Well, honey, after 9/11, there was no need to nuke. You don't know. You please tell me. You do know who did 9/11, don't you? Yikes. You don't know after all this time who did 9/11? You really think it was who they said it was? You really think it was Osama bin Laden? And now, beloved, please stop. Okay, please stop. There was no need for them to nuke because they know exactly who did it. Okay, we all should know by now. We all should know by now, beloved. Okay, we all should know. I mean, I'm not gonna say. Okay, nice M10K said, okay, of course, but that's my point. Okay, right. Because if there was ever a time to do something drastic, I would have think they would have done it then. But clearly they didn't, and we all know why. Okay, we all know why. So thank you, beloved, for your insight to the topic, and thank you for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, Rick said, oh, please. Everybody knows. Okay, the lovely T said, there's a madman at the wheel. Yes, absolutely, he is. Absolutely. Now, C-Stan has gifted us 5 memberships to the Queen's channel. Thank you, beloved. How very generous of you. I appreciate you. You all be sure to shout out C-Stan, specifically those of you who get those memberships, okay? And also, speaking of memberships, I'm going to be doing a broadcast this coming Sunday. I will be doing a broadcast for members only. Okay, I'll be doing a broadcast for members only. And if you have a membership, you don't want to miss it. Okay, I promise you. Now, with that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy your strong end, not the weekend, leave you in a weakened state of mind. Okay, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Now, I will be live on tomorrow morning, probably between 11 and 12. Okay, probably around 11:30. All right. So if you don't get the notifications, please check the channel. Okay, so anyway, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, and never destructive. Always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got